The RPO, which stands for the run pass option, has made its home on every level of football over the last few years, and for good reason. RPOs present really good problems for defenses to solve. Now there's a ton of different ways that you can implement this, so today we're going to take a look at a couple of clips and break them down. Now let's start off by drawing some things up, and then we'll dive into some of the film. All right, so let's take a look at our first one right here. We're going to run inside zone to the left for all of these different examples here. All right, and then essentially it doesn't matter what rules you want to use for this. Let's say if we're uncovered, we help our play side teammate. Let's go with that. So we get a lot of lateral flow with this. It's going to make the defensive end make a decision, and then the mic is going to be responsible for B-gab here, and number 3 with a stick or a bubble or something like that. So in this case, if we run a quick stick route here by the mic, we can run a little quick smoke screen over here, or we can even do a stick route with a bubble, and he's going to take MDM, right? It's either going to be the nickel or the corner here. But either way, we're going to take a look at this mic, and depending on what he does, if he crashes in, we have the ability to throw the stick. Safety is going to have to come down and make the tackle. Or if he widens, then the defensive end crashes, and when we pull, we're able to just attack vertical. Now you can eliminate this as a read by just running an insert type of zone. So in that case, what we have is we're gonna have inside zone, let's help backside now. Now we're here, and then we're gonna read this as a second level defender. So here's our stick route, and then here we're blocking MDM, and then if the mic jumps in, okay, if the mic jumps in, then we're gonna pull and throw. If the mic stays out, then we hand the ball off, and there's our nice cutback. And then we're gonna have to, defense is gonna have to make the tackle downfield. So that's the first one right here. First one is gonna be the stick. Now we can also run a bubble, okay? Now in this case, we essentially have 2 over 2, and then we just look to see if we think that our guy is gonna be able to make a couple of yards from this, and we trust that we can make this block and this block, then essentially if we can out leverage this guy and win a foot race to the sidelines, this is a good option to just run the exact same blocking scheme here. Okay, you can really run whatever blocking scheme you want with this, but if you're doing this, then essentially you just catch step and fire a bubble, and then easy completion. Okay, another way that you can do this is by running a little bit of a trap type of play, or kind of like the start of counter, where we kick out this defensive end. He's going to help out here. We take this, and you put your running back on this side, and then he's working in this direction. So if the mic stays, now we have numbers. Okay, and we're able to throw this. If the mic widens, then we hand off, and then in here we go. And another one that you can do is a quick 2-step out or a 1-step slant, and really not trying to catch the ball too far in here, but slowing down, kind of just getting inside leverage of this corner, and then not being in a hurry to get to this will or this safety. Another thing that'll take this away is if the safety shoots down, or if the outside backer widens out. Okay, so if that's the case, then obviously this will be dead, but the ability to do this will force the corner to play more in the flats to try and take that away, which of course is gonna always open up things, taking shots downfield if you want. But if you have a corner that plays off coverage, a 1-step slant's good, even a stay route is fine. Just catch step and rip it. One limiting factor for this is gonna be your quarterback's release, how quick he is with that release. Because if it takes too long, you're not going to be able to make this throw, right? Because then it's just going to be an easy tackle afterwards. But if you have a very quick release from a quarterback, you can just catch step and let that inside little slant here rip, get a catch, and then get a couple of yards here, get down. That's just as good as a run play. All right, here's the next one here. We're going to change up the formation, put the tight end in here. So now if we want to run anything heavy, we can. Okay, we can run power, counter, things like that. Right now, let's stick with that inside zone again. So let's say we're going to run inside zone here into the boundary, and let's do it like this, okay? And we're going to read this defensive end. So we have our inside zone here, and then what you can do is you block for outside leverage, let this tight end sneak out into the flats, and then it's an easy, if the mic is going to commit, if you see that on film, this is a really good option. The defensive end is going to have to commit for this, at least. Even if he goes upfield, you'll still be able to find a throwing lane with your quarterback. And then this is an easy completion. Safety's going to have to be the one that makes the tackle downfield. So this is a really good option. Other thing you have here is going to be your stick route here. So again, stick with your inside zone, very easy. right? So we can do it like this. We can run the insert zone where if we're regularly running this, then he's going to jump in here and then off we go. It's kind of like not exactly ISO. ISO, he'll be going to the play side, but this time we're just working up to the back side. Okay, so it's an inside zone, but we're kind of treating this as half slide, right? Half slide responsibility. So he's got C gap, he's got B gap, he's got A gap, and then we're gonna man up on the backside, and we'll take the fullback no matter where they're at, right? And let them insert. And if you do this, then again, now Mike's gonna be responsible for the A gap in this over front here. And if he does that, then essentially you have a little seam or a little stick route here, and then you're just reading, right? You're just reading this. So we block man on the backside, we're gonna double team up to the will, take this, read this Mike. If he commits, now we have the Y running a stick or running a seam. Either way, we're just gonna pull and fire it. And if he stays wide, then we just give the ball, let him make contact at 2 to 3 yards, fall forward. We'll get our 4 yards. All right, and then the other thing that we can do is gonna be a double slant here. Okay, so double slant from this. Now, here's one tricky thing with this is that, let's say, in this front right here, this nickel does not have any run gap responsibility. So he is not gonna be a conflict player when it comes to RPO. Right now, we've been talking about the Mike as the conflict player, but you can still use this Mike as the conflict and attack a guy who's just a one-on-one, okay? Because he really should win, or he should lose this one-on-one if we're running this quick slant. So what we can do, say we're gonna run full inside zone here, okay, working up, and he's gonna take the backside C-gap defender. If the Mike jumps in, we let this rip right here for this slant, because we're gonna get inside leverage. If he really flies over and takes this, then same thing as the spacing concept, right? Any double slant. If the Sam or the nickel jumps in, we have the outside slant that we can take. Just be aware that these offensive linemen cannot get too far downfield. Generally 3 yards is the accepted point. I've seen teams get away with a little bit more if it's cloudy, depends on the refs. But this is really what you want to try and fire this one and read this Mike. If he commits, let it rip. If he stays, just give the ball, safe play. All right, now we have another look here. This is gonna be a Z glance or an out route. So what we saw in the last few, we had 2 high safeties. Now, if they rotate over to a single high safety to add more into the box, this is gonna be what we wanna target right here on this backside here, okay? You can, of course, you'll see clips where we have, our guy is better than their guy. So we're just gonna catch step and throw a bubble. You can always do stuff like that, or a little stay screen. That's also fine if you think you have the advantage in one guy. So you have a stud out here, we can block this corner. And if we think our guy is better than their guy, he can't tackle him. So we're just gonna catch and throw it anyways. But in this case here, if they're gonna bring the one high safety down, now what we can do is any run play here, okay? Any run play, so let's say we're gonna run, let's go with the inside zone again. So now we're here, we're gonna slice across, take this backside defensive end, and then what we wanna have is take a look at this rover right here, okay, or this safety. So you can do this also, just so you know, you can also do this to this direction, right? If you want to have it to this direction as well, put your tail back here so the quarterback has this in the vision, but you don't have to. You could be able to have the handoff in this direction while having your eyes peek over at this rover. That is a possibility. So let's draw it up like that. Okay, we have this double team up to the Mike. We're running inside zone to the left. We're gonna be here. We're gonna have our eyes peeking at this rover. If it's a one high, if he stays put, we can easily throw this, right? We know that the corner is gonna have to be bailing, okay? Even if he's pressed, we assume he's gonna bail because he has no help, right? If the rover is down into the box, there's no help. So he's gotta be responsible for deep third. And if that's the case, he'll bail, right? He'll bail and we can take this quick out, easy completion. Another thing that we can do is run a glance route, right? And the glance route is essentially at this breaking point, you're running to daylight. There's no specific spot that you need to get to. So let's take a look at an outside zone, right? Let's say we're gonna run outside zone. We'll run this the way that I like to run this here. So we're gonna be here, and then we can run outside zone with the glance, and we're gonna just read this safety. So it'll be a little bit of a shuffle. If the safety flies down, we rip the glance behind it, right? And if he stays up, okay, and you can build this as a play action, or right now in this case, this is just an RPO. You can have something very safe on the backside if you want. And then in this case here, we're gonna be reading this. Now you can pair that with traditional outside zone, where in this case, we're trying to reach here, get to this backside mic, and we just leave the defensive end uncovered. So it's not just pick one or the other. You should have different things built into the offense. And you can also handle this in a different way by just, not RPOing this, right? Run the outside zone here where we guarantee we're going to reach these guys. And then in this case, we just run our double slants again, and we read this mic. So it's shuffle, shuffle. If the mic really flies over, now we have the slant on the backside as well. And here, the last one that we'll go over in this diagram here is going to be a Y slice. So he's just going to work out into the flats. And again, we're here and here taking outside leverage. And you can run this with the inside zone. That really works well, okay? Because if you show this action all the time and he's just always blocking, and then you bluff and work into the flats, that's an easy completion. The mic is going to be the person that we're looking for. And in this case, while we're working here, he's got to be responsible for A gap, okay? It always depends on the front, right? You have to always know what the front is, okay, and design your RPOs based on that. But in this case, if we've got a 3-tech here, he's got B, he's got C, he's got A, we know that our mic is going to be responsible for A gap. So we can really put him in a bind here by having this late, come across late here. He's most likely going to commit to this box, and then this will be open really, really nicely on the outside here, okay? If this mic commits, we can pull and fire this, and then we're just reading this defensive end. If he crashes, we bluff, we work around, fire the flat route. If he goes upfield, then we can just give it, right? So that's one way that you can handle it as well, okay? Because the mic is going to be blocked either way if you're doing it like that. Okay? If you're going to have the bluff, right? Defensive end goes upfield, the mic is handled either way. So now that we've talked through these a bit, let's add the next layer of learning and dive into the film. All right, starting off here, we got this Tyreek Hill coming in motion. All right, now they're going to end up cross blocking. This is just a simple bubble screen, right? Simple bubble screen, and they're just going to have a little bit of a cross block with this to help with the angles. Okay, and then they're just going to out leverage number 6 here. This is the guy, right? This is the guy that they have to worry about. All right, and they have a heavy run look over here with the tight end attached. Okay, so with this late motion, now if they lined up as a one tight end here and then 1, 2, and 3, okay, 3 receivers, then maybe they shift a little bit differently. But because this was a late motion, this is really beneficial. Okay, now they've out leveraged him. All right, and then he's going to lose this foot race every single time. So this is a really good way to get the ball to your best player in space. Very simple. Okay, right now he's catching this, and he's probably going to get 5 or 6 yards. He ends up breaking a tackle, and now we end up with a 15-yard gain, just because we had a very simple read here, giving the ball to our best player. All right, now here's another one that we got. Now this is an uncommon one. We got our single receiver, and we're under center, okay? RPOs do not always have to be in shotgun. I think traditionally most people think that, but as long as you have the ability to throw a stay route, that's quite easy, okay? So if you have a really, really good defender, a really good player, and they have a defender who's playing off coverage, right? And I want you to notice what he does with this route. Devonta Adams gets a little bit of width, okay? A little bit of width, getting away from this box, right? Box is dangerous. So now we get into a one-on-one battle. And right here, if your guy is better than their guy, this is a good decision, okay? You turn a basic play. Right now, you just have a little check, boom, catch it, fire the RPO, little stay route. Now you get 15 yards. Easy, stealing yards here. All right, now here's another situation. We got another bubble. Okay, and in this case here, we got 2 over 2, right? Or actually 3 over 2, but the safety's playing far enough off. We have a heavy run look over here, so anything we want to run, right? We can run power, we can run counter, we can run inside zone, we can do any run concept that we like. And if we think that our guy is better than their guy, then this is a very simple catch step, let it rip, and now we out leverage him, good block, 10-yard gain, okay? Move the chains. This is really what this is hoping for, okay? And what they have is they end up looking at this guy, and if he shows any type of sneaking in, okay, now we've out leveraged him already from his motion sneaking in. We've now out leveraged him. We're wider. So now this is just a very easy one, okay? And also take a look at this play, because this is a nice concept right here. What they're doing is a little bit of a bubble with a draw. So they got this, we're blocking MDM. If this guy flew out and the corner bailed, I'm sure he would come off and take this, right? That's the easy solution. And then what they're doing is they're just pass setting here, okay? Pass setting. He's gonna sneak out here, and whoever's uncovered, this guard most likely, yep. Guard's working up. He's going to take this. He's going to take this. And if you watch the running back action, he's just going to stay in here. Okay, and then this is a really cool way to do this, and I'm seeing this a lot more recently, is that if you have a quarterback who has the draw play here, okay, in this case, we're going to be working up here. He's going to work in and take this. Everything is handled in the box, right? 6 for 6. And instead of having the draw on this side, the stick draw, where the quarterback has a really tough time throwing it with the running back in the way, you now put the pass option away from that. You put it over here, and if this bubble wasn't there, he'd quickly turn back and hand it to Singletary, and then he'd be taken off with everybody blocked, right? This would have been a great run play as well, probably even a better run play than it was a pass play, but we'll take the yards, okay? We'll take the first down. All right, now here's another situation. We've got a under center, okay, tight look here. So we got our tight end here, fullback, and then this is really nice, okay? I've seen this a handful of times in the NFL. You just have a quick one-step slant, right? And you're just banking on the fact that this guy is gonna work in. So this is kind of an RPO. It's just basically saying if we get the exact look that we want, then we can just do this, okay? So it's not really a post-snap decision. It's based on a pre-snap decision of how this is handled. Usually RPOs are gonna be post-snap, but in this case, the run-pass option, he does have the ability to pitch this to his running back. They like to run a lot of outside zone with pitches. So I'm sure this would have been a regular pitch, and then he's just running outside zone here, and everything would be fine. But if we get the right look, we just alert this little backside slant, and again, nice 10-yard gain. This is the way that RPOs should be used. It should not be a, maybe we get 1 to 2 yards here. It should be a guarantee that we're gonna get a chunk because the defense is in the wrong position and opens up something for us. All right, here's another one under center, just a quick little stay route. Again, they're blocking MDM with this, so he sees this guy shooting. He's gonna trigger on it. It's a little smoke screen, so catch, step, fire, and now again, we break a tackle, get a handful of yards here, easy play, okay? And then again, if he decided not to do this, then they already have their run concept here into the boundary that they would have taken, okay? So this is another simple one. If you're an under center team, doesn't need to be under center, you could very well be in shotgun here with your tailback there. And if you have that cross action, if you see what you like out here, you can just quickly set and fire it, okay? They must have known pre-snap that this guy was gonna be pressuring, okay? Because if he's not pressuring, then this doesn't look too good. But if this guy pressures, now we have a 2-over-1 situation, okay? We got 2 receivers, right? 2 receivers here, and then we got 1 DB, okay? That's a good situation for us. Easy catch, step, and fire. Okay, good job by the quarterback, recognize it, the receiver's communicating, good play. All right, now here's another one that's quite nice. We essentially have 2 tight ends in the game here, and they're gonna run a version of glance with this, okay? Miami really likes to do this. So they'll have their inside zone where everybody's stepping here, and then they're gonna have this guy work out into the wheel, have him slice across and get into the flats, and then have this be kind of a spot route or a glance, and essentially, they're expecting this guy to widen out, and then it's really based on 30 right now, okay? If he's gonna stay in, they're gonna hold him in with the run action, okay? And Tua, at this point, he's looking at 21, okay? Actually, right now, he's got his eyes over here, probably just because he knows that this guy is going to widen if he keeps his eyes out. And then once 21 widens, okay, this guy's staying in the box, he widens with this wheel, and then I want you to watch Hill, right? Watch the tempo of this. It's very slow. All he's doing is getting open. I think this is a common misconception that coaches and players think that everything should be full speed. That's not really the way the game is played, right? This is just backyard football, finding space. Once you find the space, you settle down, okay? And then again, we turn this play into a huge chunk just because, you know, we got the right look that we're looking for. Now let's take a look at that play here from this angle because this is a really good view. So we see Tua's eyes are completely out here, right? Drawing this flat defender out, and everything that's going on with the box, everything with the offensive line is gonna keep this Mike here in the box, okay? And then that allows for that window to open up quite nicely. So as you can see with the RPO game, if you have the right quarterback and the ability to consistently make good decisions, and you have the ability to run the ball, you can really stress the defense and make them guard the entire field. If they don't and they have a single player out of position or he misses a tackle, you can steal some very easy yards. Now, I want you to understand that all of these clips are at the NFL levels, and these players are extremely smart. So this strategy is used quite sparingly. At lower levels of football, the RPO game can have a much bigger impact because you'll likely face some teams that aren't fully prepared for it. But in order to do this well, you must be able to run the ball first. If that's something that you're lacking in, I've got a ton of videos on this channel that take a deep dive into the blocking schemes for a handful of the most widely used run concepts, so go check those out. And if you really want to nerd out about football and learn the game at the highest level possible, check out my OC course in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.